one single state, Ohio, there are two worlds spread out that almost do not feel like part of the same story. On one side, we pass through towns where the effects of deindustrialization, economic pressure, and social struggles still feel very real in everyday life. Small towns that are trying, slowly, to hold on in the middle of changes that have not always worked in their favor. But with just a few hours of travel, the landscape changes completely. Quiet, orderly, wealthy, and growing with a very high standard of living. It is as if two realities are moving side by side, but never truly meeting. And between those two extremes, we will trace the full spectrum of small towns in Ohio, from the most distressed to the most elite, to see how that gap took shape and why it can feel so wide. Today, East Cleveland feels like a shadow of its own past. With a median household income of only around $22,000, it is one of the poorest places in Ohio. More than 40% of its residents live below the poverty line. Its biggest problem is crime. The crime rate in East Cleveland is far above the state average, with violent crime being the main concern. In recent years, it has repeatedly appeared on lists of the most dangerous places in Ohio, even compared with cities that are much larger. What makes the situation even more complex is that East Cleveland remains its own municipality, even though it is almost attached to Cleveland. Many people have proposed merging it into Cleveland because of its financial difficulties, an idea that shows just how serious the fiscal pressure is here. A few hours away from the noise of the big city, Portsmouth stands along the Ohio River, a place that was once full of trade and industry. The town used to be active, even thriving. But when the industries began to leave, the emptiness did not come alone. What followed was something far more destructive. The city at one point became one of the epicenters of the opioid crisis in the United States. At its worst point, the number of opioid prescriptions circulating here even exceeded the number of residents, a condition that shows just how deep the problem became. From there, the domino effect started to show. Crime increased, the healthcare system was overwhelmed, and many families were directly affected. With a median household income around $34,000 and a poverty rate reaching about 35%, Portsmouth was already under serious economic pressure. But those numbers only show the surface. At first glance, Lima still looks like a typical Midwest city. The main streets, commercial areas, and remnants of industry are all still there. But the longer you look, the more it feels like the city has been standing still. The median household income in Lima is around $46,000, well below the national average. Its poverty rate is also high, with many families living under serious economic strain. This is not a city that has completely collapsed, but it is clearly not one that is growing either. The next issue is crime. Lima's crime rate is above the Ohio average, especially for violent crime and property crime. It is not always as extreme as East Cleveland, but it is consistent enough to create a sense of insecurity in certain areas. Located between Columbus and Dayton, Springfield actually has a fairly strategic position. But strangely, that location has not automatically brought prosperity. Instead, the city feels trapped between two growth centers, without truly growing itself. The median household income in Springfield is around $47,000, with a fairly high poverty rate. Many parts of the city show signs of stagnation. Small businesses that have closed, older houses beginning to fall into disrepair, and neighborhoods slowly declining in quality. In terms of crime, Springfield's rate is also above the Ohio average. It is not always as high as East Cleveland, but it is enough to create very real social pressure, especially in certain neighborhoods. Located in the northeastern corner of Ohio, along Lake Erie, Ashtabula actually has something many other small towns do not: access to a port and water trade routes. That was once the city's main strength, supporting industry and fairly active economic life. But like many industrial cities, when that role began to fade, not much came in to replace it. Today, the median household income in Ashtabula is around $44,000, with a relatively high poverty rate. The local economy is still functioning, but not strongly enough to drive meaningful growth. In terms of safety, Ashtabula's crime rate also tends to be above average, especially for property crime. It may not always stand out nationally, but it is enough to create the sense that this city is struggling to maintain its stability. Located at the meeting point of the Muskingum and Licking Rivers, Zanesville has a long history as an industrial and transportation city. It is even known for the Y Bridge, a rare Y-shaped bridge that stands as one of the most unusual landmarks in America. On the surface, it all looks like a small city with a clear identity, but beneath that, the reality is more complicated. The median household income in Zanesville is around $43,000, still below the national average. Poverty is also fairly high, showing that many residents are still struggling economically. Economic activity does exist: retail, services, and some light industry, but it is not strong enough to drive major growth. If Zanesville feels like a city with potential that never truly took off, then moving to Marion, the atmosphere feels a little heavier. Here, it is not just about stagnation, but about pressure that feels more visible in daily life. Marion once had a fairly strong identity as an industrial city, and it is also known as the hometown of Warren G. Harding, the 29th President of the United States. There is history, there is local pride, and there was a time when this city moved with real stability. But like many other industrial cities in the Midwest, economic change slowly eroded that foundation. Today, the median household income in Marion is around $47,000. Poverty is still very noticeable, and some parts of the city show clear signs of decline. Older homes with little upkeep, and commercial areas that are not as active as they once were. Chillicothe is not an ordinary small city. It was the first capital of Ohio, a fact that still shows through its historic buildings, older layout, and a downtown with real character. It is often seen as one of the most historically rich places in its region. But behind that, the reality is not quite as beautiful as its history. In terms of safety, Chillicothe's crime rate sits slightly above the Ohio average. It is not extreme, but it is consistent enough to be a concern, especially in property crime and in several incidents that have drawn public attention. Its economy is centered on services, healthcare, and the public sector. Stable, but not especially dynamic. That makes the city feel active enough, but not fast-growing. Located along the Ohio River near the West Virginia border, Steubenville was once known as one of the major centers of the steel industry. In its peak years, the mills ran at full capacity, jobs were plentiful, and the city became home to thousands of industrial workers. Interestingly, Steubenville is also the birthplace of Dean Martin, the legendary music icon, a striking contrast between pop culture and heavy industry. But when the steel industry began to collapse in the late 20th century, the impact was felt across the entire city. Today, the median household income in Steubenville is around $48,000, with a fairly high poverty rate. Many of the industrial jobs that were lost were never truly replaced, leaving the local economy in a stagnant condition. Located along the Ohio River not far from Portsmouth, New Boston is a classic example of a small town that depends heavily on a very limited local economy. There is no major business center, no large industry holding it up, only a small network of jobs, and even those are limited in number. The median household income here is around $22,000, making it one of the lowest on this list. Unemployment is relatively high, and many residents have to look outside town for more stable work opportunities. What stands out most about New Boston is its limitation. There are not many opportunities, not much change, and not many reasons for growth to happen quickly. After everything we have seen, from East Cleveland, which feels close to collapse, to Portsmouth, which is still struggling to climb out of crisis, it is easy to think that this is Ohio's full story. But that is exactly where the real surprise begins. Because just a few hours away from those places, there are towns that feel like the complete opposite. Neat streets, safe neighborhoods, and economies that are actually growing fast. It is as if, without ever leaving the same state, we are moving from one reality into another one entirely. Granville is not the kind of town that stands out because of its size or activity. Quite the opposite. This small village offers something that is hard to find, a sense of calm that feels complete. Its streets are lined with classic New England-style buildings, shaded by large trees, and the atmosphere almost feels like a small town from the past, but with a very modern economic reality. One of its main foundations is Denison University, which brings both economic stability and an intellectual atmosphere into the community. The effect is clear. Granville's median household income sits around $124,000, far above that of many other small towns in Ohio. Located right along the shore of Lake Erie, Bay Village offers something you can feel the moment you enter: calm with a coastal touch. It is not a big city, but it is not a closed-off village either. There is a balance between a warm community and access to modern life, especially because of how close it is to Cleveland. The median household income in Bay Village is around $132,000, showing strong economic stability. Many of its residents are professionals who work in the larger city, but choose to live in a much quieter and safer environment. And when it comes to safety, this is one of its strongest points. Bay Village has a very low crime rate, even by the standards of small towns in Ohio. The streets are clean, the neighborhoods are well kept, and the sense of safety is something you can genuinely feel, not just something that appears in statistics. Hudson often looks like a small town that is almost too perfect. Its downtown is filled with well-kept colonial-style buildings, neatly arranged green spaces, and an atmosphere that feels almost like a movie set: quiet, clean, and highly organized. Economically, Hudson is on strong ground. The median household income here is around $171,000, making it one of the more affluent small communities in Ohio. Many of its residents are professionals with access to economic centers like Cleveland and Akron. What makes Hudson different is its balance between history and modern life. The town has not lost its older identity, but it has not fallen behind either. Everything feels intentionally maintained, from the architecture to the quality of life. If Hudson feels elegant and polished, then Bexley has a warmer tone, more alive, with a strong intellectual character. Bexley may be small in size, but its identity feels large. Located just east of Columbus, it is known as one of the most educated communities in Ohio. Its streets are lined with classic homes, old trees, and neighborhoods that feel active, not just quiet, but genuinely lived in. One of its main anchors is Capital University, which brings both an academic atmosphere and economic stability. The effect is clear. The median household income in Bexley is around $157,000, with a highly educated population. Powell is a classic picture of fast-growing suburban America. Located north of Columbus, it grew not from a long history or old industry, but from modern planning and expansion. Its neighborhoods are neat, the homes are relatively new, and everything feels well arranged. This is a place designed for comfort, from parks and schools to access to a major city center. The median household income in Powell is around $195,000, putting it near the top among small towns in Ohio. Many of its residents are professionals and young families looking for a high quality of life without having to live in a big city. Unlike Bexley, which has historical and intellectual character, Powell feels more practical and contemporary. Solon often appears on lists of the best places to live in America, and not without reason. This small city has managed to combine something rare: a strong economy, high educational standards, and an extremely safe environment, all in one place. Located near Cleveland, Solon is home to many companies and modern industrial parks. That creates stable job opportunities and attracts residents with strong professional backgrounds. In terms of safety, Solon stands out as well. Crime is very low, and the city is known for strong management and a well-organized community. What truly sets Solon apart is its consistency. Many towns may do well in one area, but Solon remains solid in almost everything: economy, education, and safety. Mason is one of the clearest examples of a small town that successfully grew into a modern economic center. Located near Cincinnati, the city has expanded rapidly thanks to a combination of major companies, strong infrastructure, and careful urban planning. Several large corporations have made Mason a base for their operations, creating stable jobs and attracting skilled professionals from many areas. The impact is easy to see. The median household income in Mason is around $125,000, with prosperity continuing to rise. In terms of safety, Mason also performs very well. Crime is very low, making it one of the safest small cities in Ohio. Its neighborhoods are clean, its facilities are complete, and its quality of life is high. Everything feels like the result of growth that was guided in the right direction. Upper Arlington is one of the most established communities in the Columbus area. It was not built through new expansion, but through a long history as an upper-class residential area that has existed since the early 20th century. Its neighborhoods are filled with large classic homes, tidy streets, and public facilities that are maintained extremely well. This is not just a comfortable town. It is a place that was designed long ago for a high standard of living. The education level of its residents is also very high, with many professionals in law, medicine, and business. What makes Upper Arlington stand out is its long-term consistency. This is not a town that is newly growing or just starting to rise. It is a town that has been at the top for a long time and has managed to stay there. Dublin is one of the most successful suburbs in the Columbus area, but with a slightly different character from Upper Arlington. If Upper Arlington feels classic and established, Dublin feels more modern, more planned, and more global. The city is known as home to many major companies and regional offices, making it one of the strongest business centers in Ohio. One of the most notable is the presence of Cardinal Health Headquarters, which strengthens Dublin's position as a corporate and healthcare hub. Economically, Dublin sits at a very high level. The median household income can reach around $160,000, with a highly educated and highly professional population. Many of its residents work in technology, healthcare, and corporate management. New Albany is often seen as one of the most exclusive communities in Ohio. From the beginning, it did not grow organically like many other towns. Rather, it was developed as a tightly controlled master plan community. The result is an environment that feels orderly, uniform, and highly managed. Its streets are wide and clean, its homes are large with modern classic architecture, and its green open spaces are carefully preserved. Even the town layout was designed to maintain aesthetic uniformity, something you can feel the moment you enter the central area. Economically, New Albany is at the very top in Ohio. Its median household income can reach around $238,000, making it one of the highest in the state. Many of its residents are executives, senior professionals, and business owners. One of the main drivers of the local economy is the presence of Intel's major operations center, which makes the area part of the modern semiconductor industry expansion. That further strengthens New Albany's position as a center of future economic growth, not just an elite residential community.